Okay guys, I'm having a Monterey Jack and turkey cheese sandwich and a Rockstar. I'm not gonna eat though. I was gonna do one of those lunchtime eat videos. Decided I'm just gonna talk to you for a few minutes and I'll eat lunch. It's really good though. You don't want to see me eating. So I'm gonna talk a couple minutes, the cops and me. And where do I stand on police? And the other night, let me stop eating. The other night I had a video, I did a video where the cops were annoying these guys that were just having a party in their apartment complex, and the cops stopped and they handcuffed all these guys for, public intoxication and noise on private property. Public intoxication on private property. And that video is in my description box. You'll see it below. San Bernardino Cop Watch from Friday night. Yeah, Friday night. But I gave the cops you're number one. And I'll go through why in my couple minutes here. And I'll talk a little bit about how I feel about the police. And this is mainly and mostly for any law enforcement officers that watch my videos that go, man, you are sure, and you're a cop hater. You are anti-freaking law enforcement. You're a cop. Not really. But the thing is, I'm old, but I'm at that age now where I'm just tired of taking crap from people. And I'm not talking about law enforcement or police only. I'm talking about in life. People give me a hard time now. I'm going to start fucking giving you a hard time back. And it used to be I tried to be diplomatic and I tried not to have conflict with people. I don't even make complaints on people. Until recently I just made a complaint. Well, I may tell you about that. Well, sure I will, and when the time is right in the coming weeks or months. But I'm just not one to complain. I'm one to put it on YouTube and I'm going to expose you. I'm going to put you on blast. But I've come to learn that that's not always possible. Sometimes you're going to have to make a complaint. I'm going to start doing that. Sometimes you just have to be confrontational with people. Now, the first thing, why did I flip off the San Bernardino police officers? Because they were putting their bright-ass white spotlight in my face and my camera. They did that intentionally. Because you notice they turned the spotlight off right as they were driving away. They didn't have to turn it on at all. They did it because they knew it would be right in my face and right in my camera. That is the same as them getting out of their car, walking over and slapping me in the face. It's just instead of their hand, they're using their spotlights. So yeah, I flipped them off. They're being a-holes. They deserve that. They get that. I didn't do it to initiate. I didn't initiate it. I didn't just go, F you cops, like that. They put their spotlights in my face so I couldn't see nothing, and in my camera. And we do that to them, we get arrested. Or detained, handcuffed. But it's okay for them to do that to us, right? Because they're cops. They can do that. And I'm talking about specific cops that do that, because not all of them do it. If you don't do it, thank you. So that's why I flipped him off. And that's why I do that. I had a police officer I was talking to, and I was talking about the distance we stand when an officer says, I need you to step back, and we're like 30 feet or 20 feet away, and we're like, you know what, you're just doing a Terry frisk. I'm far enough away. And he said, well, that's perception. Whose perception? The cop? Yeah, it's the cop's perception. And the cop's perception is always right, I guess. Our perception's not right because we don't have a badge. Their perception's right because they're law enforcement officers and they tell us what to do and we obey. Yes, officer, I will obey you. Yes, kiss your ring, Don Deputy. But that's, so, but they said, we have under 148G, this is in California, Penal Code 148G, we have the right to record and film officers in the course of their duty, and photography and videography alone cannot be deemed a suspicious activity. Or in other words, you can't just say, go back, I don't want you filming me. You can't do that. It's a violation of the First Amendment, the U.S. Constitution. It's a violation of Article 1, Section 2 of the California Constitution. And you could be violating Penal Code 148G. You could be. So there's that. But the officer told me, well, you know, he said, we don't know what Jimmy we're getting today. Are we getting the nice Jimmy, or are we getting the... You know, I have never, ever been physical with a law enforcement officer, and I never plan to. Well, we don't know that. Well, you're paranoid. Find another occupation. I'm going to get back to that in a second. But they say, we don't know if you're a friend of, you know, this guy and you're going to try to get him freed. What? We don't know. You know, you could run that. People can run a 30-foot distance in seconds. That's paranoia. And it kind of gives me the impression that many law enforcement officers work under the pressure of paranoid delusion. Gee, why is that guy standing over there? He's kind of close, 50 feet. He could cover that in 4 seconds. I don't know. I better not turn my back. He could run up here and stab me with a kitchen fork and free his buddy and take my gun. What? Yet we see pedestrians walking by them all the time. But that's paranoid delusion. But it's an excuse for a law enforcement officer to tell a law-abiding citizen who's conducting a constitutionally protected activity to back up. It's an excuse to give instructions to a law-abiding citizen, I lost my train of thought, who's conducting a constitutionally protected activity. That's a justification to tell that law-abiding citizen to do something that he really doesn't have to do, but yeah, he does, because I'm telling him to do that, and I'm going to get him for 148A1 in a minute, because he's obstructing or he's delaying me because he's over there and I'm telling him to back up and he's not. No, you're using that penal code for your own convenience to harass and berate, is that a good word? Or berate, we won't say berate, harass or annoy. I lost my train of thought again. I'm sorry, guys. I'm thinking about this sandwich. That's what I'm thinking about. No, you're using 148A to your convenience to harass and harangue, that's the word I was looking for, a law-abiding citizen, because he's recording you in the course of your duties. But I had my editorial from this morning, if you want to go look at that, out of Mayor Booty Geek, that the officer in that particular situation forgot to turn on his body cam. So we have to record you guys, man. If you're going to do things that could be questionable without video evidence, we're the video evidence. So it all comes back to, why does News Now Yucaipa act a certain way to law enforcement officers? Because I'm responding to their harassment or their bullying or their negative interactions. I'm talking all the officers from every community. I've been to Corona, I've been to Redlands, I've been to Hemet and Yucaipa and Highland and San Bernardino and Fontana, and been to Rialto, but I don't know if I had any issues in Rialto. Those are all the communities, and in several, if not all of those, well, not really all of those. Highland, I don't think I've ever had any problems with Highland Station PD, but all those other communities have had officers that have had negative interactions with me. And I responded in kind. If you step over that line, I'm a law-abiding journalist who's conducting a constitutionally protected activity, and you're going to try to force your authority onto me when I'm not breaking the law, I'm not obstructing, delaying, or interfering, I'm not impeding your investigation, but you're going to try to push your authority onto me, I'm going to respond in kind. It may not be kind the way I respond, but I'm going to respond in like manner. I don't initiate negative contact with law enforcement, but I'm going to respond in kind to you, you see. So how can law enforcement officers avoid us cop watchers? And I'm talking about, I'm not the only one who flips off, or there's cop watchers out there who call you law enforcement officers pussies and cowards and F you cop, and flips them off and shouts profanities at them. You know how to avoid that? Ignore the camera. Ignore it. There you go. Or hey, here's a better option. Hey, how you guys doing? Hi, Mom. Hey, you guys have a good night. Wow, I never thought about that before. And some officers, look, some law enforcement officers do that. They do. And I will acknowledge it in my videos. You guys know I do when they do that. I acknowledge it. I even call them by name and say, this cool cop right there. But if you're going to respond negatively, or if not respond, if you're going to initiate a negative contact, you're going to get a negative response, man. It's the law of physics. Throw a rock in the air and stand under it, you're going to get hit. I was going to say something else and I lost my train of thought again. I'm thinking about that sandwich. I'm getting ready to close. Thanks for sticking with this, guys. But no, so I don't know, I was going to say something, but I just wanted to say, that, so any of you new viewers that are coming on and going, wow, this guy, I'm not anti-cop. I'm just tired of taking crap from people who I'm not doing anything but just doing legal stuff. I'm a journalist, and I'm, still find law enforcement officers that just can't leave it alone. I don't know why. I don't know what goes through their heads sometimes. And I'm not just talking about one particular department. I'm talking about nationally. I'm not the only cop watcher that has problems. I'm not the only journalist that has problems. I'm not your normal mainstream media, by the way. You say you use F word and you use this, and so does Dave Champion. Alex Jones is pretty assertive and aggressive sometimes on his reporting. I told you, I'm not Guy Smiley. Hi, I'm doing Men on the Street. I'm Guy Smiley. I look like Guy Smiley, but I'm not. Not him. I'm not your mainstream media. I'm your social media. I'm social media journalism and activism. It's a new age. It's a new day. News Now Yucaipa. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys got something out of this.